Said roof. I thought they were talking. Dude, same. I was so late. But you know what I mean? I guess it was pretty cool too. Thank you. People inside though. Up there? Well, like, would have been productive.
You feel like stupid things?
Yeah,
I suppose like if you know like you're doing something wrong, especially when you drop the ball.
well, his face is red.
Ben?
No, Glenn.
Ready? 1, 2, G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. Ready? 1, 2, G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. G, G, O, go, Cardinals go. Ready? 1, 2, defense, get that ball. Defense, get that ball. Defense, get that ball. Are we doing that?
One more good one, they'll be up in the end zone, get a breakout with the team. Go to defensive agility.
So are we doing a 3/4 punch or a quarter punch?
Ready?
2/3. 2/3, yeah.
Break in the end zone, go to defensive agility.
Ready? 1, 2, red and white. DR, left side. Red and white. DR, right side. Red and white. DR, left side. Ready? 1, 2, red and white. two. C-A-R-D-I-N-A-L-S. We're the best. C-A-R-D-I-N-A-L-S. We're the best. C-A-R-D-I-N-A-L-S. We're the best. Let's go, Cards! Ready? 1, 2. Let's go, Cards! Let's go, Cards! Let's go, Cards! Let's go, Cards! Let's go, Cards!
Where was our finger?
It's not this in my face.
That's what it's gonna be like.
Yeah. What is up with this? I mean, is it this board? Is it just like a piece of shit or something? Seems like barely ever been used. I don't think it's anything to do with it. I think it's the board, just because. I mean.
Okay, I got it. I remember it. Ready? One.
You got to hold it, Cody. That isn't going to work.
Ready? 1, 2, B-R-A-S. Cardinal, love this. B-R-A-S. Cardinal, love this. B-R-A-S. Cardinal, love this. That sounds so unnatural. Cardinal. 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 Ready? 1, 2, go! Feet up! Cardinal! Feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up!
We were told to slow it down. She's a football coach. We're doing the same one again.
Ready? 1, 2, go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Ready? Ready? 1, 2, go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Yo, buddy, you're my man, boy. Ready? 1, 2, go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up! Go! Feet up! Cardinal! Let's feet up!
No, no, because I'm not connected.
I know, I don't get it.
You got orange lights on the back of the thing?
No. You got a red light. Oh, there's some orange.
There's green.
That guy is pointing towards you.
Hook the puddle sideline. We're making Coach happy. Just crap working. If you had it stuck to the metal, I'll stick with it. Alright. If you end recording that, it'll always on. Start. Turn it up. We're good to go. Let's go. Lordy, lordy. I got 9 minutes.
I said ready to go.
So,
can you hear me? Yeah. Is it still cutting in and out though? No. Yeah, because I have no clue what it is. It's good. Well, I'm also plugged into the board now. So. Oh, that's right. So I'm master. What's over the air? Your master go ahead.
Ready? 1, 2. O-F-F-E-N-S-E. Offense.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the first game of the year as the Big Rapids Cardinals host the Central Montcalm Hornets. First, we have a public service announcement for all in attendance. All across our nation, we've taken steps together to slow the spread of coronavirus. Now, we must continue to take personal responsibility to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Even though not all of us are at risk of a severe case of the virus, we all risk getting the virus and spreading it to others, maybe without realizing we're sick. If we want our student athletes to attend school, play sports, and keep our communities healthy, we need you to do 3 things. Number 1, properly wear a face covering. Number 2, maintain 6 feet from others not living in your household. And number 3, wash your hands frequently. The Michigan High School Athletic Association and the Central States Activities Association are committed to stopping the spread of the coronavirus because we believe that educational-based athletics are a valuable part of our children's educational experience. Thank you for adhering to those standards. At this time, I'd like to announce the Cardinal cheerleaders ever before you. Cheerleaders are Aubrey Barheit, JC Barheit, Jordan Hathaway, Tess Huffman, Michaela Kaiser, Gracie Melhorn, Allison Moore, Mackenzie Nellis, and Jade Smith. The Cardinals are coached by Kelsey Sennick, assistant coach Harley Tubbs. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 Cardinal cheerleading staff.
Ready, 1, 2, F-I-G-H-T. Fight, Cardinals, fight. T-T-F-I-G-H-T. Fight, Cardinals, fight. T-T-F-I-G-H-T. Fight, Cardinals, fight. T-T.
Turn on the stuff in here.
I understand it's coming up.
I don't recognize you with that mask on. I don't like it. How you guys doing? You guys need that table on that? Ready, 1, 2, T-A-K-E, take that ball away. T-A-K-E, take that ball away. T-A-K-E, take that ball away. And bring your
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Third. 1, 2. Third. 1, 2. We will always be true to the red and the blue. Our big rapid side. For honor and faith and for glory of faith, we must stand every loyal stand. So let's cheer, cheer, the gang comes here. And we're all that way, rapid side. Bump it up, bump, 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 bump. Hey, bump it up, bump, 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 bump. Hey, bump it up. Fight, fight, fight. Oh, let's go ahead and cheer. While we're all gathered here. Cheer for the rapid side. We will always be true to the red and the blue. Our big rapid side.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at the coin toss earlier, Central Montcalm won the toss, elected to kick. They'll be defending the south end zone. They'll be kicking off to the Cardinals, which will be in the north end zone. At this time, we'd like to welcome all ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Top Taggart Field for tonight's football matchup between the Hornets of Central Montcalm and your Big Rapids Cardinals. The Hornets are coached by Scott Kripe, and your Cardinals are coached by Mike Selzer. Ladies and gentlemen, the privilege of this event was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts and our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your hats. All veterans, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone able, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart as we proudly sing our national anthem.
Takes place in technically week 3, and all of a sudden they're ramped back up. So instead of getting 3 weeks of preparation for this game, they get 1, and obviously both teams trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, maybe last year was a little bit of a fire drill for us in week 1. Cardinals started out very strong against Shepherd, and then through some weather delays, had to replay the latter part of that game the next morning. So getting all hyped up, coming out, sticking it to someone only to have it shut down, and then have to come back out the next day and do it again. It's like a condensed version of what's going on this fall for the Cardinals. So a couple of those guys have experienced maybe a tiny part of that, but I do know that guys like Will, who I was talking to yesterday, Jamal, some of these guys, they're just excited to do something. We were trying to get these guys out on the baseball field all summer long just to get them to do something. And kudos to the basketball court down by my house that's been chock full. So these kids have been trying. Now they get to competitively play. So yeah, it's very exciting for everybody.
And Big Rapids will get to bring their offensive unit onto the field first. They're back to receive. Back deep, Xavier Prince, running back, defensive back on this team. He's the lone one standing with his heels on the 10-yard line as the green and white lined up to kick. There's the whistle, the first one of the season, and it's away to the right. It drops at the 20 and rolls just out of bounds. A good decision by Big Rapids there, and that was Xander Prince who let it roll out of bounds, and Big Rapids will have some nice starting field position here.
The amount of times that I've seen that in the high school level is something else. Just kicking the ball out of bounds, it seems like such an easy thing not to do, but here we are. So, way to take advantage. Oh, are they going to re-kick it though?
And now it looks like, Jeff, they may re-kick here as everybody on the field reforming, and everyone will go back. So, as we just mentioned before, it was Xavier Prince back on the 10-yard line. He's right back there, and they're re-kicking this. It's Brody Sleeper with the boot for Central Montcalm. There's still 12 minutes up on the clock and no score here between Big Rapids and Central Montcalm. Shadows engulfing the field nearly from the end zone to about the 30-yard line where Central Montcalm stands for this kickoff is all behind the press box. So here's a short kick. That'll roll just to the 35. It'll be picked up by a Cardinal and a host of Hornets to take him down. It'll be first down and 10 from about the 43-yard line for Big Rapids. It was Jamal Strickland on that return, and the junior couldn't get any yardage out of it.
So I got to ask your opinion, Riley. What do you think of because it's an option, right, if you kick it out of bounds. So what do you think of the move to take the re-kick versus just taking it at, the 40?
Well, you never know what can happen on one of these special teams plays, and maybe re-kicking it, giving yourself another chance to get into some open field could be a choice, but that short kick to open this game took 8 seconds off the clock. 11:52 on the clock, first and 10 from the Big Rapids 43. All the Cardinals looking towards Coach Seltzer on the sideline, getting this play figured out, and there's the whistle from the referee. So in the gun, running back to his right, a man in motion from left to right. It's a handoff right side, and it'll be Gorchevitz who makes a move at the 50-yard line, moves up to the 45. He's into Hornet territory, and there on the first offensive play of the season for Big Rapids, it's the first down of the season.
That's exactly what you want to see. You got Xander Prince down there fired up as well, but Gorchevitz last year stepped up, I believe, because of some injuries that brought him up from JV. I mean, he jumped right into this roster. He's got no problem hopping onto a varsity roster as a young man. I mean, he's strong. He can hit that hole hard. He's not afraid to take it. He's not afraid to deliver some punishment either.
So from the gun again, two running backs to his left, wide receiver on both sides. Swing pass outright. It's complete around the 40, a couple yards up, and Strickland will get out of bounds. Grant Kidder will get out of bounds across the 40-yard line. Mark him down to the 38. That brings up second down and 5. So still no score, 11:38 left on the clock in the first quarter. And after 2 plays, a first down, and now a second down at about mid-range. 5 yards to go for the blue and white. They'll simultaneously look towards Coach Seltzer at that sideline and now look down at the wristbands. The line gets up to the ball first, and here comes the backfield. As Strickler, in the gun, has a running back to his left, has a fullback just in front of him to his right, and 2 wide receivers split wide right. It'll be a read option, and Strickler hangs on to this one. Some deep penetration there to start, and coming across was Caden Schoen to make first contact, but about a yard on the play. That'll bring up third down. Running clock now, 11:15 left in this first quarter. And about 5 to go still. So the read option yields no gain. And Big Rapids taking their time on this first possession, gearing up for a big third down. Strickler in the gun. He's got Gorchevitz to his left, and that will be the handoff. Outright splitting wide. He gets outside the hash to the 35 and stumbling forward. And he looks like he got this one, and that is one of the referees will mark it. So that's a first down and 10 as it stands, and the chain gang now moving. So 2 first downs on this first drive for Big Rapids. It's now first down and 10 from the 32. 10:38 left on the clock. Still no score between the Cardinals and Hornets. Now both the offense and defensive units into those shadows looming between the 40 and the end zone. Strickler in the gun, motions man left to right, and it'll be a quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's stopped about as soon as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Ten minutes, 5 seconds left on the clock. And a pace from Big Rapids, making sure they're knowing what they're doing up there at the line, and having some conversations with Coach Seltzer before this game went on. He said that this was one of the best summers that his team had preparing in about 5 years. He said attendance was great from players, and he also said their main focus was mental focus. Working through adversity, a lot of good first half from teams last year, and then they would fall apart in the second half. So getting past that, as there's a delay of game call on Big Rapids, and they'll move backwards. So not exactly the move you want to see if you're Coach Seltzer. Took a while to get that whole team up to the line, and now they'll move back 5 yards. So second down and about 15 to go for the Cardinals. They break huddle and go to the line. Team that was 1-8 last season, looking to make improvements this year. Mentioned just the 6th time in school history that they've had 1 win or less, and that goes all the way back till 1955, about as far as we could find. Strickland takes a snap out of the gun, rolls right. There's a flag down. The throw was short of Jamal Strickland. And we'll have to see what this penalty is on. The incomplete pass would bring up 3rd and 15, but it will be a holding against the Cardinals, and they'll move even further back. Big Rapids had a total of 43 penalties last year for 407 yards. As the clock now ticks past 9, 8:54. It'll be 3rd and 15 for Big Rapids. Strickler standing in a sliver of sunlight. He takes a snap and rolls left. Short pass, and this will be good enough for nearly a first down. He connected with Austin Venix on the left side. A nice play-action rollout from Strickler, and that'll bring up 3rd down and short. About 6 inches to go at 4th down. Last season, Big Rapids converted 33 just out of 100 first down attempts that they had. On fourth down last year, statistically, they were 9 of 25, punted 29 times, but they were well into Hornets territory. At the 23, the snap taken, it's a handoff to Venix straight up the middle. And that'll be enough for a first down, so there go the chains. Gorchevitz on the carry up the middle. So first down and 10 from the Hornets 20. 8 minutes left on the clock in the first quarter. Still no score between Big Rapids and Central Montcalm. In the gun, running back on each side for Strickler. Takes the snap, a handoff to Gorchevitz straight up the middle, and he's met by that defensive line of the Hornets. A couple guys getting in there quickly. Jendon McVeigh up there on initial contact for the Hornets. That'll bring up second down and 10, so they give him no gain but no loss. Clock still rolling in this first half, 7.5 minutes to go. Two running backs to his left as well from the gun. Takes the snap, swing pass right. It'll be caught. There's Grant Kidder. He's to the outside, the 10, the 5, and he's in for the first Big Rapids Cardinals touchdown of the season. 7:03 left on the clock, and Big Rapids takes a 6-0 lead. A simple little swing pass to Grant Kidder, who was playing in the slot on the right side, and he was able to get outside the hash and into the end zone untouched. There's a flag as the snap goes off. And they will call a false start on Big Rapids.
False start for the Cardinals.
So still 7 minutes, 3 seconds, and Big Rapids figuring out what to do here in the extra point. They were going for 2. But with the false start penalty getting moved back to about the 9-yard line, it looks like they may go ahead and just try to kick it through. Alec Bowman warming up to kick. The holder, Grant Kidder. The snap is back. The hold down, and the kick is up. And he splits the uprights. A good-looking kick there from Bowman. And there's a 7-0 lead for the Cardinals. And with that touchdown, we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds right here on Big Country 100.9. First quarter, the Cardinals scoring a touchdown on their first drive of the season. It's a Big Country 100.9, bringing you this from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios. And Alec Bowman gearing up to kick away and give that Big Rapids defense their first showing on the turf. There's 3 back deep to receive for Central Montcalm. Bowman waits for the whistle, and the kick is off. It's brought in. No, it's bobbled and rolls out of bounds. That went off the hands of Preston Scott. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Central Montcalm. Back at around the 20-yard line. So they're deeper in their own territory than Big Rapids was. But we'll see how this goes. And one of the names that Jeff brought up in the pregame show, and one that I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot this season and in this game, DJ Greenbay, a senior. He's playing on that line, 4-year varsity starter, 3-time all-conference player. And him and the rest of this Big Rapids defense have a 7-0 lead to protect. So Cole Olson, the senior, back to take the snap. He'll hand it off up the middle, and there's a quick tackle by the Cardinals defense. That's Christian Ransvig who comes up with the first tackle. Gain of a yard on the play, 2nd down and 9. 6:45 and ticking here with a 7-0 lead for Big Rapids in the first quarter. Couple of players changing lines here. Preston Scott goes to the bench and a couple come in. Olson in the gun. He's got a running back behind him. A wide receiver split wide left and a tight end on each side. Puts a man in motion from left to right. It's a pitch outside, and there's some good coverage by that Big Rapids defense. They were all over it. Xander Prince on the outside, one of the corners on this team, getting a good tackle for loss. 3rd down and 13 to go for Central Montcalm on their first drive.
Also on the tackle for the Cardinals. 3rd and 13.
Xander Prince, a sophomore wide receiver and defensive back, coming up big. Xander Prince, Grant Kidder holding down the cornerback positions on this team, and now more of a spread look from Central Montcalm. 3 wide receivers right. Motion from right to left, the snap. It's a quarterback keeper, and DJ Greenbay eats him up the middle. And a play call that didn't go very far. It was Caleb Crooks, another quarterback and defensive back on this roster, taking the snap and trying to take it up the middle, but DJ Greenbay wasn't having any of it. 5:10 left in the first quarter, a 7-0 lead, and this may force the Hornets to punt. They're deep in their own territory. 4th and 13, ball's on the 16, and the punter is standing with his heels on the line of the end zone. Back deep to receive the punt is Jamal Strickland. Snap is good. And the kick is high, and it won't go very far. This lands at the 30 and takes a Big Rapids bounce and rolls nearly to the 25-yard line. That'll be down to the 26 in great field position for Big Rapids to start their 2nd drive of the season. First drive, much longer in distance, ended up with a touchdown, and the kick was good by Alec Bowman for the extra point. That's how we got to the 7-0 lead. Now with 4:41 left in the first, Big Rapids has a chance to expand it. 1st down and 10. Ball on the 26. And here comes Strickler. Running back to his left, a fullback in front of him to his right. 1 wide receiver split wide left. Fullback in motion. It's a handoff to the right. And Gorchevitz will take it for a few yards up the middle. Make it 2nd down and about 6 to go.
Gorchevitz on the carry.
4:25 left on the clock in the first quarter. It's rolling away. Both teams keeping it on the ground in this first quarter. Saw a couple pass plays, and one of those ending up at a touchdown for Big Rapids. That was nearly 3 minutes ago on the clock. That scored with 7:03. Strickler in the gun. Gorchevitz to his left. And it will be a keeper. And just to the left and across the line of scrimmage, they'll give him a gain of 1, but there is a flag down in the backfield, and this may be moving back for the Cardinals.
Flag on the play.
So a 7-0 lead for Big Rapids, 3:53 on the clock, and the penalty will go against Big Rapids. It will remain 2nd down. So a long penalty here. They move all the way back to the 33-yard line. It's about 2nd down and 17 to go. Clock starts again, and Big Rapids looking to capitalize.
Still 2nd down, 2nd, 17 Cardinals.
2 wide receivers split wide right. One in his lonesome to the left. That's Jamal Strickland. Full back to the left, and Gorchevitz standing in the gun to his right. Here's a rollout from Strickler. He throws deep to the left side, and it just drops in between Strickland and the end zone. A bit overthrown by Strickler, and that will bring up 3rd down and long. So 3rd down and 17. Incomplete pass stops the clock with 3:25 left. So first game of the season for Big Rapids coming here against Central Montcalm. Not a usual thing to start out against a conference opponent. This will be the first time since 2013 they've played a conference opponent in week 1. Last time was against Reese City. It was a 39-26 loss, and Big Rapids finished that season 3-8. As Strickler takes a snap, rolls out of the gun, and there's a whistle. That'll be a false start in Big Rapids, and a 3rd down and long becomes a 3rd down and longer.
5-yard penalty. 3rd.
So still 3:21 left on the clock. And Big Rapids, who had a premier chance to score after a good defensive showing, and on half of Central Montcalm, a bad punt that kept them in Hornet territory. But they've moved back to nearly midfield. It's 3rd and 22 from the 38-yard line. So 2 wide receivers split on each side of the ball. Strickland stands in the slot on the left side. In the gun, it's a low snap, but maintained by Strickler. He's rolling right. He's got a man downfield. It will be dropped at the 10-yard line. A ball that hit the hands and popped out of Grant Kidder. And that'll bring up 4th down. Kidder scored on the swing pass earlier in this first quarter, but can't haul in the long pass. It would have given them a 1st down and maybe even more. So 4th down and 22. Central Montcalm comes up with enough pass coverage to keep it a 4th down for Big Rapids. Ball placed on the left hash at the 38-yard line. Big Rapids comes out in their punt formation. There's 1 man deep for Central Montcalm. Fisher Hill back there to return this punt. And a rugby punt here, swing left, and the ball goes out of bounds. A decent punt downfield. And they'll give Central Montcalm around the 25-yard line. Nice little boot there by Justin Gorchevitz. And the ball goes back to Central Montcalm. A quick possession to start the game for them offensively. But now they get another chance. Big Rapids started in Hornet territory to start their 2nd drive of the game, and that Hornet defense came up strong. So 1st and 10, and they'll actually move this ball all the way back to about the 10-yard line.
1st and 10 Hornets on their own 10.
That punt went pretty far, but it's just about where it crossed, and they'll say the 10. So Olsen in the gun, a motion from right to left. Receiver in the slot. There's 2 left, 1 right. Motion again left to right. And a handoff up the middle, a missed tackle. And finally, the Cardinals bring him down. And that was Mitchell Harold on the carry, who got a few yards up the middle. Make it 2nd down and about 9.5 to go.
For a short carry brought down by number 56, David Miller. 2nd and 8 Hornets.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 2nd down and 8. Ball now on the 12-yard line. 2:40 left to go in this first quarter. 7-0. Cardinals lead the Hornets. Olsen in the pistol, running back behind him. 3 wide receivers split out to the left side. Now motion from left to right. It'll be a handoff around the end and blazing through the backfield, making a tackle for loss. That's Jamal Strickland. We've seen him targeted on offense, and we've seen him come up with a couple tackles for loss in this first quarter on defense, and that's a great side for Big Rapids.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
That's your guy?
Yeah, Jamal. No, that's my guy.
Well, your guy's made a couple nice plays on defense, and it looks as though he's going to get involved in this offense as this game goes on.
Well, he's a freak. I mean, the kid can jump out of a gym. He can jump out of a football field. And last year, Will relied on him as a receiver. Anytime he was in trouble, just chuck it up, Jamal, bring it down.
Third down and 10. Olsen in the gun. He motions his running back to his left side. He steps back, and there's a rush towards the end zone. Thrown back. It was a jersey tackle, and the throw goes out of bounds, and that was nearly a safety. Great penetration there by Kyson Storm Williams. And that'll be 4th down and 10, so nothing moving for the Central Montcalm offense. And the Cardinals will get their 3rd possession of the night with just 1:35 left on the clock in this first quarter. So in the punt formation again, Jamal Strickland back deep to return. He's just a couple yards behind the 35. The punt away. This is a much better punt, and Strickland will field this around the 50. He's down the left sideline, now cutting it back to midfield, and he will be stopped right at the 50-yard line. A good tackle on special teams there by Central Montcalm, and more specifically Jordan Ralph, the senior, coming across in that punt formation to make that tackle and place that ball right at the 50-yard line.
Riley Bowen for the Hornets.
1:22 left on the clock. A 7-0 lead for Big Rapids. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 50-yard line. Ball set right on the left ear of the Bulldog. Wide receiver on each side. The snap is low, and it's kicked forward, back into the line. Central Montcalm is pointing their way. The referees also pointing their way. So a short possession to what could have given them an even bigger lead. All it took was one play, a booted snap, and now it's 1st down and 10 from the 48-yard line for the Hornets.
This shades of last year. Cardinals had a number of opportunities to put games away last year, but they make one mistake, and that's all it takes. And, only 4 quarters. It seems like it might be a long time. Football game's pretty short. Make one mistake like this and turn the tide of the game. So instead of the Cardinals potentially being up 14-0 or even 9-0 with almost safety, could be tied.
Olsen takes a snap. He had motion behind him. It's a swing to the left, and this will be a big loss of yardage unless something happens here. And there's a throw. It was a reverse into a throw towards a 20 and brought down at almost the 5-yard line, and that one was dropped at the end of the play. No whistles blown, and they will say the ball goes to Central Montcalm. That was an interesting play there, and it looked like Fisher Hill, who came across on the motion, cut back across field, and slung it to Trey Chapin, the senior wide receiver and defensive back, who took it all the way inside the 10. A creative play that looked like it was broken in the backfield becomes a 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Wow. Just a playmaker right there.
Check the 1st and 10, make that 1st and goal. 7 yards to go, and the Hornets can tie this game up. Olsen in the pistol, running back behind him. Tight end from right to left in motion. It's a handoff up the middle, and there's that defensive front from Big Rapids. Making another nice stop. The handoff went to Preston Scott, and the tackle was made by Christian Ramsvig again. Clock running, 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. A 7-0 lead for Big Rapids. Another change of scenery for Central Montcalm as Preston Scott will leave the field along with Caden Schoen. A couple others come in, and Olsen will stand in the gun by himself. He's got tight ends on both sides. 2 wide receivers split left and 1 right. And those whistles you heard will end the first quarter. So the Cardinals come up with a big defensive stop, a touchdown of their own, but a fumble here at the end of this first quarter makes it interesting. The Hornets trying to score when we come back in 60 seconds on Big Rapids 100.9.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 1 second on the clock.
No. School football, 7-0 the lead for the Cardinals over the Hornets, but Central Montcalm getting ready to try to shove it in here. There's a motion from left to right. It's a swing pass and stopped right at about the 2-yard line. This secondary for Big Rapids has come up and made some big tackles on the run support so far, and that one is no less. Grant Kidder in on the coverage there from the cornerback position.
Riley, you're going to learn
for the first quarter.
I got more than just a couple guys on this team. Grant's another one. That kid hits you, you're going to remember it. All right, that's a well put together young man right there.
And maybe some mishandling from the officials here tonight, but usually when the quarter ends, I say usually and by the book, you switch sides of the field when the quarter ends. Well, that didn't happen. They got to run one play where they were before, and now both teams will make the trek from one 2-yard line to the other 2-yard line, so that's what we're waiting on here. Still a 7-0 lead. And we talked about this season, talked about last season, finishing 1-8. Getting off to a good start here would go a long way. You look back at the 7 playoff appearances for Big Rapids in school history, 6 of those seasons have started off with a win. That only season that didn't start off with a win, that ended in a playoff appearance, was 2012. They lost the opening game to Reed City 14-6, but then they went on to win 8 straight games before losing to Chip Hills in the pre-district game 31-6. Chip Hills that season would lose in districts to Ogama Heights 48-27 the very next game. It's been a long journey for Big Rapids to get here, not just Big Rapids, but all of high school football. But until recently, Big Rapids didn't know exactly where they'd be playing their games this season. Would it be all on the road? Would they have their own stadium? Well, just about a week before we're talking right now, the official word came out that it would be back here at Top Taggart Field with plans to move on to their own stadium next season as everyone walks from the 2-yard line to the other 2-yard line, and then we get another stoppage in play. So still waiting from that play from the 2-yard line.
It'll happen, I guess. Has to at some point.
It'll happen eventually. Gives us time to give a big shout out to our game sponsors, including Farmers Insurance Strickler Agency in downtown Big Rapids. Sam's Disposal, flat rates, no contracts, no hidden fees. Call 796-295 today to start your service. And also Bader & Sons, your local John Deere dealer. Outstanding in their field. Find more at greentractors.com. Also, a big reminder that this game is streaming on wwbr.com or get the free app for iOS and Android. Follow the game on any device. And also, free live video along with this play-by-play on Facebook Live. Go to Big Country 100.9 WWBR Big Rapids page. Another motion from right to left. And this one will get out wide enough and into the end zone, just skipping across the front of that pylon. And Jordan Gross will get in for the touchdown. Another change of quarterbacks on that play as well. Cole Olson was not back there. It was Caleb Crooks who took the snap and gave the toss to the right side. A lot of motion involved in this Central Montcalm offense, making it a little tricky to dissect where plays are going to go for this Big Rapids defense. They got it started at the end of the first quarter, but they finish it just 4 seconds in to the second quarter. 11:56 the time on that score. The snap is down. The kick is up and off the right upright, so the Cardinals will maintain the lead. It's now 7-6 in favor of Big Rapids.
That could be big. Never know.
Could be big down the line. You never know when it's just going to come down to that 1 point. But still a lot of game left. 11:56 left in the second quarter. And Big Rapids getting ready to bring their offense out there. Didn't show exactly what they could do last time. Just one play and a fumble where Central Montcalm took over. But they looked extremely good on their first drive. And they've had some open looks through the air and on the ground.
Thank you, Big Rapids and Mecosta County EMS and Big Rapids Fire Department.
So both teams on the field now. Will be Caden Schoen to kick for Central Montcalm. And back to receive Xavier Prince for Big Rapids. He's the lone man in the deep formation, standing at the 10-yard line. Showing. Kick straight down the middle, and this one will be received by Prince. He's across the 30, towards the left side, breaks a tackle, gets across the 40 before he's brought down. A little fight for the ball, and maybe a little pushing, but nothing comes out of it. And that ball will be marked down directly at the 40-yard line. So 11:50 left on the clock in this first half. A 7-6 lead. Cardinals over the Hornets. It's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. The light shining down on the field here at Top Taggart now. No dealing with any more shadows for these players. Strickler calls a man in motion. Kidder was the one in motion, and then all of a sudden, flags thrown by 3 different referees, and that will be a Big Rapids false start penalty, and they move back again. Mentioned the number total for them last year was 43 penalties that resulted in 407 yards. And quite a few here in just basically the first quarter. Now 10 seconds into the second quarter. So move 5 yards back, and Strickler's back out there. He's got 2 wide receivers to his left, a running back on his right. Kidder in motion from left to right. It's a handoff to Gorchevitz. He gets up to about the 35-yard line before he's mobbed by Hornets. That'll give them about a yard and bring up 2nd down. So 2nd down, 14 to go. Still a long ways to that 1st down. Clock rolling, 11:20 left in this first half. Wide receiver split out on both sides, fullback and running back, standing to the right and left of Strickler. Couple of hard counts from Strickler. Now he backs off. Takes a snap. It's low. It's fumbled, but on top of it that time, and luckily for Big Rapids, is Austin Venix, who covers it and brings up another 2nd down and long. Clock down to 10:50, and head coach Mike Seltzer steps a couple yards onto the field to holler out some plays to his offensive unit. Wide receiver out wide right and left. Fullback just in front of him to his left. He drops back to pass. It's across the middle, and it's intercepted by Central Montcalm. Another great play by Preston Scott, who comes across the middle from the safety position just to clean it up. And all of a sudden, Central Montcalm has that ball in Big Rapids territory.
Yeah, Will took a hit right there, too. I mean, you got to give the youngster credit. He didn't shy away from trying to make a big play. He took the hit, tried to complete the pass. That's just a learning thing right there.
He climbed in that pocket, too. He didn't escape as soon as it collapsed. He climbed up. He did take that big hit. He got the ball off, and unfortunately, it was left short. Looked like he was trying to find Jamal Strickland, but it ended up in the hands of Preston Scott and the Hornets. Olsen from the gun. He'll swing to the right, and all of a sudden back across field. And a similar play as we saw earlier to the long pass, but about 20 yards east to west, but right back to the line of scrimmage north to south.
David Miller was like, no. He's going to shut that down right now.
A lot of scrambling across, and these motion plays opening up a lot of room in the backfield, going from right to left and left to right. That time trying to reverse it again, and not as good a fortune as the first time. 7-6, Cardinals lead the Hornets. Olsen in the gun again. He's got a tight end on each side and a wide receiver on each side. Calls Scott in motion from right to left. It's a handoff to Scott. He gets up to about the 45. They'll give him the 46-yard line, and that will bring up 3rd down. It's about 3rd down and 7 yards to go. They'll mark him on the 44-yard line. 9 minutes to go in the second quarter.
3rd and 7.
Two wide receivers split right and one left. A tight end on each side. Olsen takes a snap. He's rolling right. There's penetration in the backfield. He throws, but he's hit. And that's popped up in the air. And they will say it touched the ground. That looked like it was nearly caught in the air by Trey Chapin. The intended receiver was Fisher Hill. He tried to jump up and catch it, went off his fingers, and nearly found a teammate, and it would have been a first down. But instead, it'll be 4th down and 7 from the 44. Stops the clock with 8:47 left in this first half. So after an interception, here comes the punt team again for Central Montcalm. They are in Big Rapids territory. And the kick will be straight. It'll bounce at just about the 20, rolls to the left hash, and it will be downed inside the 20, given the 16-yard line.
Hornets kick takes it down to the Big Rapids 18-yard
So
line.
Big Rapids getting the ball back with a 1-point lead, 7-6, and 8:40 left in this first half. A score would be nice here for them trying to get back into the locker room and coming out with a lead. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors of tonight's game. The Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids. Your local independent agency, community-driven, policyholder-focused, education-based. The best rates of homes on auto, business, and life. So the snap goes left side.
Number 11.
And it will be right around the line of scrimmage. They're actually going to give him a loss on the play. It brings up 2nd down and 11. 8:25. Clock still ticking down.
Loss on the play. 2nd and 11.
So it's 2nd and 11, ball on the 17. Two wide receivers split right. Jamal Strickland all the way wide right. Got another receiver to his left. It'll be a snap and a keeper. Strickler gets across the 20 before he's drugged down by a Hornet. That'll bring up 3rd down and manageable here. About 3rd down and 7 to go. They'll mark it 3rd down and 6, ball on the 22-yard line. So still two timeouts for both teams. As this clock rolling down, and if you're Central Montcalm, looking at that clock a little bit because of the way that Big Rapids has really paced their offense. They're not in any hurry to get up to that line. We've actually seen them get one delay of game penalty already. Two receivers out left, one wide right. The snap, a quick pass, and that's Kidder on the outside. Makes a man miss. He's across the 30 and brought down. There's a first down. Stops the clock with 7:05 while they move the chains. He stopped just shy of the 35. They'll give him the 34-yard line.
They're moving the chains down there. Looks like a Cardinal. First down.
I don't know how you feel, Riley, but
Tackle on the play.
I don't think Will looks too out of place. He's made some mistakes a young quarterback would make, but that's to be expected. I don't think he looks out of place at all. He's not afraid. He's playing the game.
He's put the passes, for the most part, where he needs to. Now, the interception we talked about just a minute ago, very under pressure in that pocket and actually took a pretty big hit afterwards. So 1st down and 10 from the 34. The snap, handoff straight up the middle. Gorchevitz makes a couple miss. He's out to the sideline and falls forward to the 45-yard line in a flag thrown. Possibly a late hit coming in to end that play, Micah Johnson. And we'll have to see the penalty they give here. So some discussion coming here. And it will be a personal foul.
Looks like the penalties are going against Central Montcalm.
Micah Johnson was coming in late on that play and just made contact.
Going to move the chains all the way down.
So even after the first down run by Gorchevitz, They'll move the chains even further after the personal foul. Ball coming all the way in to Hornet territory to the 40-yard line. Strickler has his running back and his fullback to his left. Wide receiver split out on both sides. A handoff up the middle to Gorchevitz. And he didn't have a ton of room to run. Got just 1 yard of the play. Brings up second down and 9.
So we take a peep over at some of our other Facebook Live streams. Reed City over on Big Rapids Daily News, and then Chip Hills over on Y102 is actually 14-8 Warriors in that game. And then when we flip over to our Facebook Live feed for the Morley Stanley Mohawks, nothing, Kent City in the second, Kent City Mohawks in the second quarter.
On 2nd and 9, it's a handoff straight up the middle. Just about another yard, brings up 3rd down and 8, so chipping away here. So what you're saying is the area has some pretty close games, at least in this first half so far.
Yeah, and I think everyone knew that Kent City and Morley Stanley would be pretty close. Kent City's always tough for them in the silver. But I didn't think a whole lot of people expected Chip Hills to come out the way they have here. Second quarter, still 14-8, and it looks like the Warriors have the Coyotes deep in their own territory.
Strickler takes a snap. He rolls right. He's got a man across the 30. That'll be a first down. He connected with Austin Venix, who ran the crossing route and was wide open.
I mean, that's a throw on the run right there. That's a tough play to make. The only thing tough would be across your body coming to the near side of the field. And Will made that play look kind of easy. He's got an arm. I mean, the kid 2 summers ago in summer ball as a catcher, at one point he had a 72% caught stealing rate. So he's got an arm.
He's putting the ball where he needs to, and these design plays have the boots on him. He's making a twist, and he's rolling out to his right usually, sometimes across his body to his left. First down and 10 from the 29. This time a handoff to the left, and that was Austin Venix after his reception. There gets a carry for 1 yard. That brings up second down and 9.
As long as you get something. Just don't go backwards. No penalties, no negative yardage. Always get something. Because now you rip off 5-6 yards, 3rd and short. Manage that as opposed to a penalty or something. And then you have, that's what killed them last year. A lot of, in the middle of a drive, they'd get to about where they are now, knocking on wood, and then they'd stall out with a penalty or 2 or something, so it becomes 3rd and like 19. Can't do that. Just get positive yards, even if it's 1, 2, 3 yards a carry. We can live with that.
And a timeout called by Big Rapids. That'll stop the clock with 3:39 left as Coach Seltzer wants to consult with his team. It's another good time to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. Quality Car and Truck Repair, the area's only AAA service center, 220th Avenue, just west of 131 Big Rapids. Also, Williams Family Medical, your local independent family doctor in downtown Big Rapids, accepting new patients. Visit williamsfamilymedical.com for more. And also, Isabella Bank. Since 1903, Isabella Bank has been lending a hand in support of area schools, service, and civic organizations to make our communities a better place to live. Isabella Bank, bank local, bank anywhere, member FDIC. So a 7-6 score, Big Rapids over Central Montcalm here with just about 3:40 left in this first half. They come out of this timeout, they'll be facing a second down and 9. Believe it or not, we do have a crowd mic here at Top Taggart Field. Just not a ton you can hear. The players, coaches, and cheerleaders are all allowed 2 admittance per person. There's no band here. Bands are only allowed in areas that have been named level 5 MI Safe Start schools. Strickler takes a snap out of the gun. He's got the keeper to his right across the 20. He's going quick and steps out just before the 10. They'll mark him out at the 11-yard line. That'll bring up another first down. And Big Rapids getting close to scoring again.
Attaboy, Will. I'm really liking this. I mean, he's every now and then we get a big play, right? But other than that, we're getting 5-6 yards. You can live with that. Wears down a defense. They spend a lot of time on the field. And I know I mean, how much does that really matter? Because a lot of the Cardinal defense is on offense, too, in high school. But it does. I mean, it's a little demoralizing to teams. We're driving. Will's doing an excellent job. Just stepping right in here. Him, and he's got another young guy, like I mentioned earlier, Gorchevitz. He's got Fenix back there. He's doing great.
From the gun, a handoff right up the middle, and there, as you said it, Jeff, Gorchevitz gets up the middle for about 5 yards. That'll bring up second down at 5, so just chip it away, using up this clock. This game has flown by. We've seen a touchdown pass from Big Rapids. We've seen a touchdown run from Central Montcalm, but other than that, offenses have had a hard time moving, but they've kept it on the ground. That clock keeps ticking, and another timeout taken here with 3:13 left. Mentioned so much stuff happening this summer. We just talked about the restrictions a little bit here at the game, which is why we've been able to bring so much coverage to you, whether it's Facebook Live or over the radio or on the online stream for Big Country 100.9. We're trying to have everybody covered here. There's not a ton of ways you can come and watch the game unless, like I said, one of those players, coaches, cheerleaders have a ticket for you, and they only get 2. So not a good chance anybody else is getting in unless somehow they're scalping tickets. But
you got to get real creative this year, if anything. And I know that the MHSA probably doesn't like me saying something like that. But, I mean, people, they want to see these games. I mean, we're happy any way we can to try to help everybody out. We appreciate Fair State also stepping up with some of their students and resources to help bring this to TV as well.
And Strickler takes the keeper, and he is hit hard in the backfield. All of a sudden, there's a pile where he went down, and Central Montcalm thinks he fumbled. A couple of their players pointing towards their possession. And it will be Central Montcalm. So inside the red zone at about the 6-yard line, it's a fumble by Will Strickler up the middle. He took the keeper, but he was hit hard by a linebacker coming through that hole.
See, and I mean, this is what you're going to get with it, right? I mean, you put another 365 days on Will, he adds another 8 to 10 pounds of muscle. That probably doesn't happen. But he's got to step up into a situation everyone knows is uncomfortable for him to do. Despite that, I mean, I still think he's doing a pretty dang good job for the Cardinals here. Now the defense has got to step up yet again.
So the snap, and it's a pitch right, and more defensive backs coming up and making stops. They'll get him down at about the 11-yard line. That'll bring up second down and about 5.5 to go. Saw a couple cornerbacks there. Xander Prince came up. Austin Venix came up as well from a linebacker position to help make that stop. So just 2.5 minutes left. Big Rapids has 1 timeout left, and the same for Central Montcalm. So not a ton of time control left besides that 1 timeout. We've seen most of the plays be on the ground for both teams, and even more so with Central Montcalm. They have had 1 long pass that led them to their first score. So Olsen puts a couple men in motion, takes a snap. It's a handoff up the middle and a lot of room. A good open field tackle by Austin Manecki and a couple others. He had a hold of, it was Mitchell Harold who took the handoff for the Hornets, and Manecki had a hold of him for about 3 yards before the rest of the Cardinals could get there. So 1:45 left on the clock in the second quarter. 7-6 the lead for the Cardinals over the Hornets. They're up to the line. It's 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line after that first down run. A timeout called on the field, and it will be called by Big Rapids. So that's the final timeout of the half for the Cardinals. Still 1 left for Central Montcalm, but both teams getting to converse over what's going to happen the rest of this drive. So a very slow-paced game by both offenses so far. A few I guess, mess-ups by both sides, a couple fumbles from Big Rapids, and that's really been the biggest difference. One fumble came at midfield for the Cardinals, the other right on the 6-yard line, and basically erased another score. They had some momentum going towards that end zone until the ball ended up on the ground. So out of the timeout, Hornets back at the line of scrimmage. Olsen in the pistol is running back behind him, puts him in motion to the left. And there's Scott in motion from right to left. And the play whistled dead. And it will be a false start, so it'll remain first down, just about 5 yards back. 1:28 left in this half.
First down, first and 15. On their own 18-yard line.
Olsen walks back over to head coach Scott Kripe on the Hornets sideline. Gets the play and barks it out to the rest of his team. First down and 15 from the 18-yard line. Scott put in motion from right to left. He gets the toss to the left side, and there's a tackle for a loss. Another good showing by this Big Rapids defense, and that's Austin Manicky again.
Preston Scott on the carry. 75, Austin Manicky on the tackle for the Cardinals. A little over 1
So
minute
that
and-
keeps the clock rolling. It's second down in about 18. We'll mark the ball at the 11-yard line. In the pistol again. Olsen puts his running back in motion. And there goes the end again. It's a toss right. And across the 15, he'll be brought down by 3 different Cardinals. You can credit Austin Venix with part of that tackle, along with Alec Bowman and a couple others. So 25 seconds. It's third down and 15. They got right back to where they were before that loss of yardage on the last play on the 18-yard line. 15 seconds left, and Central Montcalm will just call it right there. No need to run another run play this close to their end zone. And it's 7-6. Make sure you stick around here for the Big Rapids Public Schools halftime report. I'll be there. Jeff Scarpelli will be there. And, well, maybe, I guess. So we'll talk about what's happened in this game and maybe even some of those games around the area. So back here soon for the halftime report on Big Country 100.9.
It'll be a 15-minute intermission.
You stopped recording.
It booted him out.
Ah.
It literally just said, sorry.
We're done now. No, wait a minute.
What are you doing?
kids games are going. I got scars.
Yeah. Somehow. There's a bathroom right down there.
Yours is all the way to this side, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk down and around. Yours is
I don't know the log names.
I ain't gonna lie, I stopped watching.
That's a good question.
I stopped. I was like, I couldn't just see like roads like that.
No, he doesn't.
Like, if I'm
Yeah.
like Cyrene and like, go later.
I mean, because the other thing I was trying to do too is, yeah, I got everyone got recorded. That was getting great. And all of a sudden, it just stopped. I'm like, what the hell? We got 2 plays.
Yeah, I was just.
No, I got 1 play. Sorry. I got 1 play. The second play came about halfway. It stopped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I look down and like, I'm just sitting here ready. And I look down and it's like,
Mine? No. It's the same crap that was happening yesterday. I need an email and a password to log back into the huddle sideline system. And I don't know what it is. Nobody's ever known. I use my huddle one, and that doesn't work.
The first 3 quarters were
And
really
nowhere
good.
on there in the system does it say, if you get that message, nowhere in the system does it say how to change the login information. So we got to call them. Mondays.
That was weird. It was
Or maybe I'll try to call them tomorrow.
he's like, he did this, and he like hit him in the chest.
If I get a free moment.
I was like, yeah, you can't really do that, but like, it was weird, yeah, it was weird. You gotta think about it like this though. I mean, you just go like this. You don't realize how much you didn't like, you talking, that's all like that. That's what he's in the chest, like. He's like, get over here. I know, I was like, what? Oh, wow. That's a weird way to get
We
kicked
have
out.
that. That and the antenna.
Well, I was watching, I was
That's all
like,
we
oh,
have.
I'm like, holy, kicked him out.
Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, it's not doing something. But, because this one's doing the same thing as that. You know, because on here, if you just click the blue, I can go to watch mode. I can go to watch mode. And I got no recording. And that's what I did, because that's what happened on this one. Yeah. That one's recording. This one's in watch mode. So, like I said, we got to call huddle. Yeah.
it's not
No.
still under clay.
It might be. That's the thing. It might be. Because all last year, I didn't have this problem. I had nothing like this. None. It would pop up. Right. And so when you go,
It was recording.
so I mean, we have multi, but we're not using the end zone stuff. And so if we were using that system, the end zone, all we need is the press box. But we're not. So it's, all this is really confusing.
Comp comes out on top of this game. You have to look at that first quarter. One pass for 43 yards that got them into scoring position, which led them to get that touchdown. Now a shanked extra point after that. But a 43-yard pass on what looked like a broken toss play comes back across the field, and it goes inside the 10-yard line. A tough play. Big Rapids held them for a couple plays but could not keep them out of the end zone. Central Montcalm, really, besides that one pass play, hasn't had much going. Their leading rusher on the night is Mitchell Harold, 4 attempts for 18 yards. Other than that, nothing significant.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's the secondary of the defense in particular, but they're, you reminded me of this before we went on air today. One of your favorite things to say about the game of football and some of the commentary in it is that the guys in the trenches usually don't get enough press, you could say, And on defense, you get a lot more than you do on offense because, you can sack it, you can cause a fumble, blah, blah, blah. But the front line for the Cardinals, while not necessarily, on a from a statistical standpoint, dominating, you're not getting those edge sacks or something like that, collapsing pockets or whatever. What other Chris Collinsworth thing can I throw out here from the NFL? But you're getting a good push on that offensive line, which is causing them to want to move to the outside. But then that secondary, I think, is the strongest part of this defense. A lot of speed, really good recognition. They will crash that ball in a heartbeat. I mean, keep the pressure up, really. That's all I got to say.
They did help on the run support there quite a bit in that first half. About 6 minutes on the clock until players start coming out of that tunnel. It's a 7-6 lead for the Cardinals over the Hornets. Just like to remind you of tonight's game sponsors, Farmer Insurance Strickler Agency in downtown Big Rapids, Sam's Disposal, flat rates, no contracts, no hidden fees. Call 796-2952 today to start your service. Also, Bader & Sons, your local John Deere leader, outstanding in their field. Find out more at greentractors.com, and also stick around to find out more about this game. We're in the Big Rapids Public Schools halftime report. We're going to take a break here from the Big Country Isabella Bank Sports Studio.
We've had this 3 years, and it's worked up until this year. And when we really started having problems is when we got the end zone stuff and tried to put all that.
He just said we got.
It is, and it's probably crashing the whole system. But our tablets are done for tonight. Which is good, selling them like 45%.
Which one of the powers?
They both are. You just have to go play by play. I flagged all the scores, turnovers, stuff like that.
I can bring this up there.
Yeah. Since we can't use it, I mean, we're kind of stuck. See if they can do something with it. Here's the cover for that one. Yeah, you just can't have it on while if you film it with it, if you do anything with it. I mean, it was working last year until we decided, when did we play Tri-Con? Was that second game of the year? Yeah. No, when was Val here? Was he here 2 years ago or last year? Valentine. When he kicked it, when we were at Tri-Con and he kicked the damn thing, and it hit the monitor, the ball. He was practicing kicking and shaking, and nobody was there by the camera, and he hit the monitor. Totally broke the monitor, broke the HDMI connector. I mean, he did it. And since then, it's gone downhill. I mean, the whole system has gone down. It is. And I'm just tired of it.
Especially when you're not the hot team.
Right. And I literally, I took this whole system home in the middle of the summer, turned it all up, trying to put it together, trying to figure out, hey, our camera's not talking to this camera. We had to buy a new camera this year because it wasn't talking to that. And, okay, now we got a camera. Now we can talk to this. Now we can actually videotape this. And I sure wish I could. Those black boxes that were there last night, that's what connects that to up here to down there. And so I was going to have that all working, trying to get all that working so it's working up tonight. But I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. And game day is not a day for me to try to figure something out. I was getting a little hot and touchy. Yep.
Finally got her to go up.
All right. I think we just need to have.
And not a ton of action that first half. Both teams keeping the ball on the ground for the most part. A couple of big passes, one from each team. But other than that, really has just been the clock running down. This Big Rapids defense has done a good job of keeping Central Montcalm in check. And the other way around, Central Montcalm's defense has really capitalized on some key turnovers for Big Rapids, a couple of fumbled snaps. And in that first half, as we talked about, Will Strickler stepping in for Sam Alley, dealing with some off-the-field issues. Maybe we see him in the second half, but Strickler played very well, getting that one swing pass for a touchdown. He did throw an interception, but was dealing with some pretty heavy pressure. And really an exciting game here, a glorious night for football. Still no clouds in the sky. The sun is gone, and now the lights are shining down here at Top Taggart Field. It's a 7-6 game. Cardinals on top of the Hornets, and we come out and try to see what this Big Rapids team can do. Two big fumbles, one on the 6-yard line, one right at midfield. And they're going to hopefully keep that in mind and try to keep that ball off the ground. Mental focus was the name of the offseason for head coach Mike Seltzer. He said they had to get better on the mental focus aspect of things. They had to do a better job of fighting through adversity. And talking to him earlier this week, this is exactly what he was talking about. Coming out of the locker room into the second half, most times last year they were within a touchdown or leading going into halftime. If you looked at the scores from last year, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that. And now they have a chance to prove themselves in week 1, which technically on the schedule would look like week 3, and you're starting off the season in a conference game. So add all of that together, and this is a pretty impactful game in a 6-game regular season.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Cardinals last year, we played 4 quarter games, not 2. So they got to show up for the 3rd and 4th this year. But I mean, like I said in the pregame show, this is every year to 2 years you have a completely different team, completely different turnover of the roster and everything. And the Cardinals have such an abundance of young talent on this team, just pure athleticism, that it's just hard to imagine that they're going to allow anything like this get away from them. I mean, you even take a guy like Will Strickler. The kid's just a competitor. I mean, I've seen him, almost to a detriment in baseball, where he just gets pissed at people, his own teammates included, just for not being competitive enough. He's just a competitor. And I think that's more the culture that you're seeing on this team, because that younger class in particular, that's all they're used to winning. They're used to playing and winning and really competing hard and playing 400% every day, all the time. So I can't imagine this is going to be a 2-quarter team like last year. And nothing against the team last year. It just didn't work out for them. But I just can't see it this year. So prove me right. Let's go, Cardinals.
Well, the play calling in the first half, it didn't look like they were running out of steam by any means. A couple of turnovers, like I mentioned earlier, one at about the 50-yard line, the other one at the 6, just before Big Rapids was trying to get into that end zone, really killed that drive. And also, you take a long play with the reverse and a long pass. This game could easily be 14 20-0, 21-0, or even 14-6 if that matter. But that's why you play the game. That's why you don't play it on paper. That's why you're out here on the field, and Big Rapids is doing just that tonight. And the reason that you're hearing Big Rapids tonight is because of some of these sponsors that are helping us bring you the game. Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com. Outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified service technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Rents. And also Johnson's Automotive Repair, always reliable. Johnson serves the community with honesty and integrity. Northland Drive, just south of the airport in Big Rapids. And also Sam's Disposal. Stop getting tossed around like trash. Flat rates, no contracts, no extra fees, and if you're not happy, they'll work with you to make it right. Call Sam's Disposal today. So both teams on the field right now stretching. About 30 seconds left until we start the second half of play. 7-6 the lead for Big Rapids over Central Montcalm, and it'll be interesting to see what they come out of that locker room with for both sides. That offense not really moving too well for the Hornets, not like what we saw from them last season. But Big Rapids, on the other hand, just has to hold on to the ball and get into the end zone. And this should be a very exciting game to watch in the second half. Both teams are very well in this game, and both teams looking to get off to a great start.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm sorry. I have so much excitement pent up in me that I just don't really know what to say. I just want to see it happen. I just want to see him play. Like, let's close this game out. Let's put up some more points. It's always tough for me to remember. It's week one. My expectations are always higher from the get-go, you know. But man, you know, it's just we need some points on the board early. We need the defense to continue to just shove, and I mean, I think that we can come away with this. And this is actually, some people don't really realize, but I think that I see this as an upset if the Cardinals can win, because the way I see it, Central Montcalm and Reed City are the two teams that were kind of expected to win this conference. But like you said, a short 6-game season, Cardinals can win this one, you're off and rolling. They got a tough schedule to open the season, but you're off and rolling.
First game, always so important. And here's Sam Alley to kick it away. This is a deep kick. It'll bounce at the 5 and roll into the end zone. No return there. And Sam Alley coming out, giving the boot the first time we've seen him tonight.
Maybe some frustration.
Kaboosh. Maybe. That had no doubt. You could tell the people in the back few rows just watched it roll into the end zone. They'll take over wherever the refs put it.
I actually know what it is, now that I think about it. It's Coach Justin Fox. You see, Sam Alley, when football was canceled, played some soccer. So just a couple weeks with Justin the Golden Foot Fox, and all of a sudden Sam Alley's booming balls.
So 12 minutes up on the clock, 7-6 to lead for Big Rapids. First play, motion across, handoff going right. He'll break across the 20-yard line. They'll give him the 21. It's second down and 9 to go. So this defensive front by Big Rapids, and like we've said, led by DJ Green Bay getting some penetration. But him and Austin Manicky have really gotten a ton of penetration tonight. And it's been very easy for them to come up and make some stops. It's also that penetration is pushing them out to those cornerbacks, and the defensive backs are making run-stopping plays too. Olsen puts a motion from right to left, handoff straight up the middle, and no chance that's going anywhere. That brings up third down. Only 45 seconds in, and the Big Rapids defense making some big plays.
We got a scoring update down in Morristown with 2. 8-0 Eagles. But it looks like Chip Hills is still on top of the Coyotes. Slim. Thought it was 2018 last I saw. 28-16. Yes, sorry, I can't read.
Well, here from Top Taggart Field, we have a 7-6 game. Cardinals over the Hornets. Out of the shotgun, Olsen will take it. He rolls left, and he'll throw downfield. And the wide receiver turned into a defensive back. extremely quick there. That was nearly an interception for Justin Gorchevich.
Telling you, man, that's a name you're going to be saying that name a lot all season long. Gorchevich is a heck of a player. Young man, he's just an athlete. You know, he's strong, he's fast, and right there he showed some of that pure athleticism. I mean, he can get up, but he almost had that. I mean, that could have been huge there.
10:34 left on the clock, and with the 3-and-out coming, here's the punt, 4th and 9 from the 21. It's away. It bounces at about the 50. It will keep rolling to the 30, and it will roll out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. That's where the officials will put it. So after we saw a poor punt the first time they had to, Central Montcalm comes back with a couple of nicer punts flipping field position.
Maybe Justin Fox wandered into the wrong locker room at halftime. Accidentally gave some kicking lessons to the wrong team.
Well, here's what we've been waiting for, or waiting to see what's going to happen. And we do see number 3 on the field in that huddle. So Sam Alley has entered the game for Big Rapids, missed the first half of play. And it looks like some Central Montcalm personnel having to cross the field.
Well, and I mean, that's a great job by Will Strickler filling for that half. Cardinals got on the board with someone who's been on this team for 10 minutes.
Alley takes a snap. He's getting rushed. He makes 3 men miss and dumps it off to Gorchevich, who takes a massive hit. He got back to about the 25. That'll be a loss of yardage and a massive hit.
Wow.
And that's Trey Chapin, who comes down and lowers the boom.
Number 3, Trey Chapin on the stop for the Hornets. 2nd and 15.
Justin Gorchevich,
Man.
a junior, taking that hit.
Yeah, Trey Chapin, a senior. Man, I don't think he's phased, though. I don't think he cares.
Still out on the field. Alley in the gun. He's got 2 wide receivers to his left, a fullback to his left, and then his running back to his right. 2nd and 15 from the 25-yard line. Takes the snap, and it's a handoff to Gorchevich, and he'll be stopped for even more yardage.
And I gotta kind of put that on Sam right there, because this style offense at any given time, Sam has 2 to 3 options, and he had 2 defenders immediately biting down on his running back, yet he handed it off anyway. That's where you keep it and you cut up field immediately and just try to get something out of it. Instead, 3rd and 23, what? I mean, that's just got to be better than that. That's the entire purpose of this Veer offense right there, is you give options. You give multiple options to a quarterback. I mean, any play you call is really 3 or 4 plays. Just a bad read by Sam. First play out, though.
9:10 left on the clock, 3rd and 23. The snap is a handoff up the middle to Gorchevich, and he gets maybe a yard, so move it to 4th down and 22 from about the 19-yard line.
I mean, what else can you do? Just try to eat up a couple yards, kick it away, let that golden boot work again.
Well, we saw it on the kick. Now let's see if Alley has the same for the punt. Alley and Gorchevich are back deep. Back deep to receive is Fisher Hill. 8:30 on the clock, 4th and 21 from the 19-yard line. High snap. Alley controls it and gets the kick away. And this is another good boot. Takes a Hornet bounce back into Big Rapids territory. And they will set up at the 42-yard line as the Hornets offense comes back out. Besides the one pass play that we've referenced plenty of times already, haven't seen a ton of movement from this offense.
No, and I mean, let's see the defense put up another front here. I do have a question on our offense, though. If you have maybe 2 or 3 stalled drives where Sam kind of looks out of whack a little bit, if you're Coach Seltzer, do you go back to Will?
It's an interesting decision, and we'll be here to see what happens.
Yeah, but I want to know what Riley thinks.
We haven't seen enough of Sam Alley yet to know what Riley thinks yet.
Mean, he's at 3 plays. That's not enough.
And it's a quarterback keeper to the left side, and this time it's
Quarterback keeper.
not Cole Olson, it's Caleb Brooks in at quarterback. We've seen him in a couple times, and as Brooks tosses the ball to the referee, which isn't exactly supposed to happen this year, the ref just lets it bounce off his chest, and they throw it back into the Hornets huddle. .750 left on the clock, still ticking down in this third quarter. 7-6, Big Rapids leads Central Montcalm. It's Caleb Crooks again. He'll hand off up the middle, a spin move across the 35, and a good chunky yardage there on second down. That was Mitchell Harold, their leading rusher in the first half. Comes out and shows it in the second half here with 7:20 left.
On the tackle. Third and short. Third and 2.
Third down and 2 yards to go. 34-yard line in Cardinals territory. You'd have to imagine if, for some reason, they don't get this first down here, that offense is staying on the field for fourth down.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, you don't usually have a Jason Hansen on your team or a Matt Prater or something like that, so it's four-down territory.
Motion from right to left. Crooks will swing it out left. The pitch, and there's a big hit, but it will be enough for the first down. Coming up to make that play was Austin Venix, and he gets up a little slow, favoring that left ankle. The handoff, or the pitch, I should say, was to Mitchell Harold, and he got upended and fell across the first down marker. Those chains will move.
Yeah, it looks like they will sub out. Get Storms Williams in for Austin. Or check that. No, that's Jamal. No, 16. Is that 10? I can't read numbers, man. That
is Austin. 10. It was Austin Venix who basically collapses to the ground once he gets to the sideline. And there's a pass down the middle of the field, and it's nearly taken away by Xander Prince, who came across to help on that pass coverage and nearly came away from an interception. Crooks had the pass downfield and thought he had an open man at about the 10-yard line, but he was mistaken. So second down and 10 from the 31-yard line. 6:11 left in this third quarter. 7-6 the lead for Big Rapids over Central Montcalm. We've seen some great plays in that secondary by Austin Venix, who's been in some pass coverage, Jamal Strickland, Xander Prince. And there will be a timeout called on the field by Central Montcalm. So we'll step aside along with them. 30 seconds, and we're back here on Big Country 100.9.
I came to Ferris because I wanted to help others.
To make my visions come to life.
I wanted to be a part of a community.
To pursue my passions.
Seven to 6, the lead for Big Rapids over Central Montcalm, but there's a lot of time left in this game. 6 minutes, 11 seconds left in the third quarter, and Central Montcalm has a second down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Riley Edwards with Jeff Scarpelli here on Big Country 100.9 is a snap to Crooks, is a pitch left and a big hit coming from that secondary, and that time it's Alec Bowman, so actually taken from the linebacker core there. That brings up third down, and Bowman came up to only let him get about 2 yards.
Brings up a third and 8.
So 3rd and 8 from the 29. Before the break, we saw Austin Venix come over to the sideline, working on what maybe looked like a cramp. So Crooks in the gun. He'll take a 2-step drop, and then the play is whistled dead. And it will be a false start on the Hornets.
False start offense.
So 3rd down and 8, move it back 5 yards. 5:23 left on the clock in the third quarter. We saw Austin Vennick go to the sideline. Looked like he was in a bit of some pain. Well, good sign because he's back on the field right now.
Must have just been a cramp.
Must have been a cramp, and from what we could see from up here, the training staff got there pretty quickly to work on that left leg. .5:10 left on the clock and ticking down. It's 3rd and 13 from the 34. Saw a pass play earlier this drive that was nearly intercepted by Xander Prince. And Crooks is staying in at quarterback. Man in motion, the slot from right to left. Steps back, he throws it downfield, and it is hauled in for a first down and more by Trey Chapin.
To Chapin, complete inside the 10-yard.
What a catch by Chapin. In coverage there was Grant Kidder, who was in his face nearly the whole time. So it'll be a first down and goal from the 5-yard line. 4:42 left in this third quarter. Big defensive stand with their back to the end zone. Big Rapids hasn't been in this situation much this game. The snap, motion from left to right. It's a quarterback keeper, and there he is, DJ Green Bay coming through and making a tackle for a loss.
Number 74, DJ Green Bay on the tackle.
4:30 left. This clock keeps rolling when these teams keep the ball on the ground.
2nd and 7, goal to go.
7-6. Cardinals right now, but Central Montcalm trying to change that. 2nd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Couple of changes on offense here, although it looks like Caleb Crooks will stay in at quarterback. The junior taking over mostly this drive for Cole Olson, the senior quarterback. Tight ends on each side, 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Crooks will roll left to the end zone, and the jump ball is caught by the Hornets. It's a touchdown, and they'll take the lead.
Complete touchdown, Hornets.
Looks like Fisher Hill who came down with that, and indeed it is.
By number 5, Fisher.
With 3:50 left in the third quarter. So with the 12-7 lead for the Hornets right now, here comes the question of how you deal with this extra point. They went out there, kicked before, and put it off the right upright. And it looks like they'll keep the offense on the field for 2. This will make it a 7-point game if they can get this in. Crooks puts a man in motion, and there is what looks to be a false start on the Hornets. And it will be a false start, so they'll move back 5 yards and have to decide what they're doing from there.
With the attempted extra point, it'll move it back 5 yards.
So 3:50 on the clock, a 12-7 lead after a false start that pushes them back on this extra point. And it looks like they threw off the flag, so they will stay at about the 3-yard line for this extra point. Crooks in the gun, 2 wide receivers to his right. He'll roll out right, getting hit, and a great break up there at the end zone, right in front of that pylon. It was Jamal Strickland that came across to swat it away.
My guy.
Well, that keeps the score 12-7, and that's a big stop there by the Big Rapids defense on that 2-point conversion. You let them score that makes it a 7-point game, which means you have to get that extra point through.
Cardinals we got to get on the board though.
Does leave it up to this Big Rapids offense.
I mean, yeah. So, a quick strike is always nice. Sam's pretty good at that, to be honest. He can do it with his legs. He can do it in the air. We saw him more than a few times last year do it with his legs, though. So let's just get him. I mean, he's just got to get in a rhythm, really. Coming in cold like that, I mean, you give Will a lot of credit in the first half. Coming in, stepping up like that, it's the same difficulty right now, though, for someone like Sam, despite his experience. I mean, you're coming off cold. Again, these guys had almost no time to prepare for the season, so then he's just got to get in rhythm, though. So hopefully he can do that in this drive. Start with a few first downs, turn it into a full-fledged drive.
3:50 left in this third quarter, still awaiting the kick. It's Caden Schoen, who kicks it straight to the 20-yard line. There it's picked up and stopped just shy of the 35-yard line. A pretty decent return there by Xavier Prince. And that is where the Cardinals will take over, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. 3:43 left on the clock. It's a 12-7 lead for the Hornets. And now a senior quarterback coming onto the field in Sam Alley. You mentioned he can do a little bit of everything. On the ground last year, team's leading rusher, 740 yards on 151 attempts, went for 6 touchdowns. Also the same guy we saw 2 years ago make his first appearance on varsity as their kicker and punter. Alley in the gun, takes a snap. Quick pass right. He's got Kidder, who gets past the line of scrimmage. A stiff arm gains him a couple yards, and a great tackle made by Fisher Hill on the outside.
Boy, Grant breaks that. That's a first down, easy. Oh, that was a nice tackle.
He had a hand planted right to his chest, but Fisher Hill held on and brought him to the ground. Brings up 2nd and 6 from the 38-yard line. Cardinals up to the line. Blue uniforms, white accent, helmets with the white, and almost a chrome-looking Cardinal on the side. From the gun, Alley takes a snap, hands it right up the middle, and it won't go for much. They'll give him about 2 yards on this play, got across the 40, and that'll bring up 2nd down and about 4 yards to go.
So you can always live with these short yardage, third down opportunities. It's like I said, it's just the third and infinities that you can't survive on. And so far the Cardinals, penalty-wise, pretty good. And it gives some of your offensive weapons like Alley and Gorchevitz and them a chance.
So the snap to Alley. He takes it himself, left side. He breaks through the line. That's enough for a first down, and he's brought down just shy of the 50, and they'll actually give him that 50-yard line. So right at midfield, with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this third quarter, the chains move, and the Cardinals trying to get into Hornet territory.
He just had to get loose. Just had to stretch it out a little bit.
Haven't seen him use those legs much. We didn't see him for the first half. Will Strickler took over, led them to 1 passing touchdown, but not a ton else in that first half. A couple of turnovers on some snaps. Alley takes a snap. He'll keep it himself. He's outside to the hash, to the numbers. He's running across the 45, and he's brought down at about the 41-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and maybe a yard to go.
This is good recognition by Coach Pedigo and the coaching staff here, because Central Macomb clearly just stopping up the middle. Start using Sam along the edges, loosen up the middle. The Hornets will have to make an adjustment, and when they do, Gorchevitz running it down their throat, something like that will start working a little bit better. But that's the dynamic ability, go with that, of Sam Alley and what he offers. You know, he can do a quick pass to the side like he did a couple plays ago. He can run it around the edge like he's done the last 2 plays.
Alley has Venix to his left and in front of him, Gorchevitz to his right. He's got 2 wide receivers split wide left, and he takes it, little swing pass left, and there's Kidder who gets past the 35 and nearly to the 30. That ball hit the turf, and Central Macomb is pointing their way, and so are the officials. And there's another turnover for Big Rapids on a drive that looked like it had some wheels on it. It was moving. That would have been a first down and 10 from about the 30-yard line. Instead, it's a turnover, and there goes that drive for Big Rapids. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. A 12-7 lead for the Hornets.
I think Coach Seltzer's reaching for his red flag. It's just not there. I don't know. I mean, I thought he was down, right?
It was a bang-bang play. I'm not an official, though. You got to stop asking me these questions.
Well, that's why you're here, Riley.
From the gun, Crooks will hand it off left to a man in motion. He gets out to the numbers.
Right.
Oh, looked like he was going to break forward there, but a good tackle for a loss. And look who that is, Jamal Strickland in the backfield.
My guy.
Bringing him down for a loss of 1. That'll be second down and 11. 60 seconds left in this third quarter.
2 terms on that play right there by Jamal. Ankle, pursuit, and closing speed. Used them both. Man. Yeah, I mean, I thought they had him back there for, what, a 6-yard loss, 7-yard loss maybe. Broke free. He might break something big now. Nope. That secondary stepped up yet again.
Crooks in the gun, puts a motion from left to right. And there's a toss and another tackle for a loss of yardage. Clogging up holes. There it is, Jamal Strickland coming in on the run support again. Makes it a third down and even longer. They'll give him third down and 13 from the 28-yard line. 15 seconds left in this third quarter, and that may be the last play that we've seen for this third quarter.
Yeah, the Hornets they don't look like they're running anything else. I mean, they got nothing, though. They just got nothing going on. That's great penetration at the front line, for the Cardinals, which allows the DBs to come up to press.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
So a 12-7 lead by the Hornets. When we come back, we'll see if the officials flip the field this time. And we'll get back to some more football. 60 seconds, and we have more right here on Big Country 100.9.
The University Eye Center at Fair State University offers high-quality care. We provide comprehensive eye examinations for patients and an array of specialty eye care services. The University Eye Center and Vision Research Institute have cutting-edge technology and renowned faculty that differentiates us from the competition. We accept a wide variety of insurance plans and offer high-fashion, technically advanced eyewear at affordable prices. For more information, visit our website or call 231-591-2020.
Back for the fourth quarter, 12 minutes up on the clock and a 12-7 lead for Central Montcalm after a fumble and a turnover for Big Rapids. The offense for the Hornets trying to keep this lead and maybe even expand it. Tonight's game brought to you by Big Rapids Public Schools, educating our future since 1868, recognized nationally and by the state of Michigan for excellence in education. Go Cards. And there's a flag, as it looked like maybe there was one too many men on the field, and that's what they'll go with. So the Hornets, and luckily for the Cardinals, moving back a few yards on an already lengthy third down play.
Moves the ball back 5 yards.
Penalty makes it 3rd and 18 from the 23-yard line. Still 12-0-0 up on the clock in this fourth quarter. Mentioned Big Rapids Public Schools. Paris Auto Sales and Service. Make sure your vehicle is ready for winter. Get a tune-up today. Northland Drive, just north of the airport, Big Rapids. And Crooks taking the snap. He's out to his right, throws downfield, and into double coverage. Nearly caught, but a couple of Cardinals there. You look for Xander Prince. Also, Another safety coming in there. That's Aiden Cohn.
Brings up 4th and infinity. So the Hornets will probably punt it. That's what my years of watching football tells me right now. They're going to punt.
It's not the 23 yards from the end zone on a 4th and 18 or anything like that.
Well, it's not Madden football. It's real life. So I think, I think Coach Kripe and the Hornets doing the smart thing.
And just as Jeff prefaced right there, there's the punt that rolls out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. And that should keep the Cardinals on the Hornets side of the field. So this is a very big drive here. We saw a couple of good things in that third quarter in terms of offense, but once again, taken down by a fumble at the end of the drive. And even, Jeff, if it did look iffy in your eyes, it was a fumble. But now they have a chance to get it back. The defense came up with the stop, kept them in their own territory, didn't even let them gain yards on that drive. Now they get it back. They're going to mark it at the 50-yard line, so they're actually going to mark it back a few yards. And it's 1st and 10.
Tell you what, I'm a sucker for good defense, so I'm loving this game. We just got to get some points on the board here. Make them pay for those 2 extra points that they missed. You know, score a touchdown, kick a field goal, win the game.
Alley puts Kidder in motion from left to right, and he'll pull it out of his running back's belly. He'll keep it himself, and the keeper goes for a first down. Gain of 11 on the play. Put him at the 39-yard line and into Hornet territory. Oh, one official looked like they had marked it short, but now the officials agree the chain gang should move.
Oh, yeah.
It's 1st down and 10.
Easy first down. And really right there, going back to those keys and the different reads that Sam has, he had 2 options. I think he picked the right one, but they still would have gained yards if he had handed that ball off. I mean, Cardinals had a real good look at some offense there, but I think Sam just saw a big hole at the middle, kept it. Look what happened.
Same formation, and Kidder goes in motion to the left, and this time it will be a handoff to Gorchevitz, who gets upfield for about a 4-yard gain, brings up 2nd down and 6 right at the 35.
See, it's a tough offense. I mean, it's a real tough offense, especially for, you know, a high school kid to be able to run. Sam did it pretty well last year as you run down the stat line. And I just think that first drive, he just had to kind of work some kinks out. But, you know what, that's a lot of kudos. It took him 3 plays to work some kinks out, to come ice cold off the bench. I don't want to talk. Every time I give a kid too much credit, though, it comes back to bite me. So I don't want to talk too good about him too soon until we score a touchdown.
10:25 left on the clock in the 4th quarter. So this is a crunch time drive here. Alley will take the snap out of shotgun, and he tried to stiff arm there. Looks like he may have gotten a face mask and was brought down with a sack. So not a very fortunate play there for Sam Alley. He reached out trying to get away. He nearly did. But a good tackle in there in the backfield by Mitchell Harold. So a discussion between the officials on exactly what this penalty is going to be, but Big Rapids looks like they are in the mindset that they're moving back.
Got a scoring update now from Chip Hills. It is 30-20 Coyotes. They just come storming back into that game.
It's an interesting game. Reed City losing some seniors that were big on that team last year. Chip Hills trying to come back from a season where they didn't play as well as they wanted to as well. Have some good games around the area. Well, that penalty, the face mask we were talking about, makes it 2nd down and 36. Ball on their own 35-yard line.
2nd and long for the Cardinals.
They were knocking on the door to the red zone there for a minute, and now they're all the way back in their own territory. 2nd down and 36. What do the Cardinals pull out of the bag here? Alley's in the gun, running back to his left, full back to his right. Got a wide receiver on both sides. Takes the snap. He's rolling right. Throws across his body, and there's Jabal Strickland for the reception. He gets out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Makes it 3rd down and shorter, but maybe not short enough. 3rd down and 28 to go, as they do mark it out at the 43-yard line.
3rd and long.
And Jeff, if this is you, what happens here on 3rd down and 28?
Throw a bomb.
Well, let's see if that happens. Wide receiver split out to both sides. Kidder in motion from right to left. And the snap will stay with Alley. He takes it himself, gets a few yards up to the 47-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down. So not a bomb, a positive yardage play, but that still is 4th and 24 from the 47. 9:45 left on the clock in this 4th quarter. Alley has brought some more speed to this offense, not just really when the ball is snapped, but the pace is picked up a little bit. You could tell Strickler still getting used to this. You have to realize they still usually have 3 weeks to prepare for this first game, and they came back short notice, prepared 1 week for this game, and had to start a young quarterback.
Yeah, and to be fair on that last play, too, I've seen Sam Alley break a 36-plus yard run.
Oh, and this punt bounces and is picked up, and that'll actually work against the Hornets. A nice punt that bounced at about the 20, but right into the hands of their returner, Fisher Hill, and all of a sudden, he's brought down. So that brings up 1st down and 10 from the 16-yard line, 9 minutes left, and the Big Rapids defense has been there all night, and this is another situation where you need them even more. (12-7). Hornets lead Cardinals. Week 1 of the MHSAA season. As Crooks is still in at quarterback. In the pistol. Has an end move from left to right. Handoff up the middle. A lot of yardage here. And that's a 1st down. Mitchell Harold trucks all the way up to almost the 31-yard line. Moves the chain. Stops the clock at 8:56 left in the game. Harold was really the only productive runner for the Hornets in that first half. He's showing it again here.
1st and 10 Hornets on their own 31-yard line.
Whistle blows. Here goes the clock. Crooks, same formation, same motion from left to right. The only difference this time is some laundry on the field before the play starts. So 1st and 10 from the 31. Flag here. And it looks like it's against Big Rapids, so moving forward 5 yards. 2nd down and 5.
5 yards, 1st and 5.
Another penalty in this, hurting Big Rapids. Hasn't been the one thing that's changed the game for them. They've also put the ball on the ground 3 different times. But the penalties obviously do not help. 8.5 minutes left in the game. Central Montcalm gets a 1st down. Now a penalty. It's 1st down and 5. Same play, same motion. It's a toss right, cutting it back towards the middle of the field. And there's pretty much the whole Big Rapids defense. Ball looked like it popped out. Big Rapids players were pointing towards their side of the field, but it didn't happen. And Jeff, I want you to give me a name on that Cardinals defense that wasn't in on that tackle. Pretty much everybody up front.
I believe Sam Alley was not, and David Miller.
Okay. Looking on the sidelines, I see what's going on. You got me there. 7:50 left. With how much running is going on in this game, we've obviously seen Big Rapids can pass the ball, but has to be concerning how much time is coming off the clock in this 4th quarter as there's a handoff up the middle, and there's the defense again. Austin Venix came through and got some penetration. Also, Kyson Storm Williams from that linebacker position coming in and making a stop as well. Those linebackers have been quick to read where that ball's going, which isn't always easy with an offense like Central Montcalm. A lot of motion, a lot of moving pieces on offense, and some guys who are frankly very quick.
Yeah,
the secondary and linebacker core has done a good job.
I know it's not even the end of the first game of the season here, but this is already one of my favorite defenses that I've seen the Cardinals put out in a while.
They've been
Fast, they're
energetic.
hard.
Get to the ball quick. Crooks in the gun, tosses left, and there's another big loss. And coming through, Austin Manecki. And that brings up 4th down. And what looked like a somewhat promising drive from the start there, a few good plays from the Hornets, all of a sudden turns to back loss of yardage plays. And now they're going to have to punt. 4th and 14 from their own 27. 6:15 left on the clock in the 4th quarter, and Jamal Strickland back to return. Ooh. And the punt nearly blocked. It gets down across the 45 and will take a Hornets roll into Big Rapids territory, but it looks like they'll mark it at about the 50-yard line. 50 yards between Big Rapids and the end zone. Have to hold on to the ball. Have to have some energetic plays. 5:59 left on the clock. Original practices for this season started August 10th, but were stopped 5 days after MHSAA announced that they were going to move the season to spring. Well, the decision was reversed on September 8th, and now we're playing in the 4th quarter of their first game 10 days later. 6 minutes left, and Big Rapids has to prove themselves offensively. It's a 12-7 Central Montcalm win. Kidder from motion, right to left, and the snap handoff to Gorchevich, but there's whistles and flags, and that will be a false start on Big Rapids. We talk about the energy, maybe a bit of anxiousness in your first real game situation like this, but certainly a lot of false start penalties on Big Rapids tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta take care of one thing at a time, right? You can't be thinking about the touchdown right now. You just gotta take care of your job, one thing at a time.
So back up to the line of scrimmage. Only thing different is this time it's 1st down and 15 after the false start. From the 45-yard line, Alley in the gun, running back to his left, full back to his right. Snap, handoff up the middle, and Gorchevich will maybe get a yard. And with the forward progress, they will give him a yard. So it's 2nd down and 14. Clock ticking down, 5 minutes and 40 seconds now. Central Montcalm, the only one of the two teams to take a timeout in this second half. Big Rapids still has all 3. Cardinals flock back up to the line. Alley is running back to his right, full back to his left. 2 wide receivers split right is Kidder. Will take another hitch pass. He gets out and moves forward to the 50. This will make it a more manageable 3rd down as he gets into Hornet territory, but they're going to mark him down at the 48-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd down and about 8 to go. 4:45, and this is one of the bigger plays of the night right here. Not a great team on 3rd down last season. Out of 100 chances, only converted 33 times. Need 8 yards to move the chain. Wide receiver split out to both sides. Running back and fullback to the left. Sam Alley will keep it. He makes a cut towards the outside across the 40-yard line. He's brought down, and that will be more than enough for a 1st down. Deeper into Hornet territory at the 47-yard line. Excuse me, the 37-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Still a 5-point lead for the Hornets, 12-7. And the officials calling time here. As it looks like the center, Brett Martin, will have to come out of the game. Helmet may have come off on the last play. So a switch here. Alley in the gun. Gorchevich to his left. And he'll end up pulling it out. A man had already tackled, basically, Gorchevich in the backfield, and he'll scramble forward for about 2 yards. So making something out of literally nothing for Alley in that backfield keeps this drive moving. 2nd down and 8 from the 35. About 3.5 minutes left in this game. As that time clicks down, this drive becomes more important for Big Rapids. Jamal Strickland split wide right, closest to the right side of the field. Slot receiver Grant Kidder on this side, nobody out left. Running back to the right is Kidder, motions from right to left. And it'll be a keeper by Alley, who scrambles up the middle and falls across the 30-yard line. They'll give him the 30, and that brings up 3rd down and short. 3rd down and 3 yards to go with 3 minutes left in the clock. Big Rapids needs a touchdown on this drive if they're going to keep moving this slowly and eating up clock. Strickland and Kidder will split out left. Check that. Strickland moves to the near sideline. Alley will take it. Hitch pass through the defense to Kidder, who is upended after about a half-yard gain. And that brings up 4th down and short. Stops the clock with 2:29 left, as it looks like there's a timeout called by Big Rapids. And Jeff, the most crucial point of this game so far, a big 4th down. Mentioned last year the inability to stay on the field after 3rd down, just 33 out of 100 times that they do that. But you look at the 4th down conversions last year. Out of 25 times, they were able to convert 9, and hoping that this is going to be a good start on 4th down for the season.
They need it. I mean, it's time to produce right here, Cardinals. You need 3 yards. I mean, how are you going to get it? Anyway, anyhow. We'll see what Coach Pedigo and Coach Seltzer can cook up here.
And you have to wonder what this would look like if they didn't have so many penalties on the field during this drive, or really the rest of the game. Their offense has moved fluently, but so many false start penalties and a couple holds in there. Saw an unfortunate face mask on Sam Alley as he was trying to defend off a defender from getting sacked. They just can't keep that little yellow flag off the field. 2:29 left in the 4th. 4th down and 3 yards to go. The snap, it'll be a keeper. Sam Alley, he's cutting towards the 30. He gets to cross, and he reaches the ball forward, and this is going to be extremely close. They're probably going to have to bring the chains out to look at this one. Sam Alley had to outrun basically that entire defensive line.
Gave it to him.
And the whole Central Montcalm defense thought that they were calling that short. And there's head coach Scott Kripe talking to the officials as Big Rapids was walking off the field.
I was looking at that official, and that did not look like a 1st down. I mean, that looks very close.
Now they're going to bring out the chains, as this probably should have been done before they made a call in the field.
Yeah, get everyone all jazzed up on it.
Central Montcalm was walking off thinking they had a game-winning defensive drive.
What an effort by Sam right there, though. I mean, it was like him versus the world just to get 3 yards.
Oh, and the officiating crew had to get right down in there. No use of an envelope to see if they could get in between there, but just vision from, 2 feet away. He got right down in there, and that's a 1st down, so the chains move. 1st down and 10. They'll mark them out at the 27-yard line.
Boy, and you know that must have been millimeters, because usually when they sit that chain down right in front of the team that's waiting for it, they all go nuts. No one went nuts. No one reacted.
Saw one hand point towards the end zone they're driving towards, and even that didn't look so certain.
No.
But they stay on the field. They convert 4th down.
Big time.
They had to get 3 yards, and Sam Alley had to do everything he could to get there.
What a
First
job.
down and 10. On the 27-yard line, Kidder motion from left to right. Gorchevitz gets a handoff up the middle. And it's fumbled. Immediately, Central Montcalm was excited, and Gorchevitz slowly walking off the field. That's fumble number 4.
Oh, no.
And what a tough game to be on that Cardinals side of the field. So many promising drives and good plays. Really just made nothing by fumbles. And you have to wonder, being basically canceled for so long, being brought back 10 days ago on September 8th, how comfortable the centers, the running backs, the quarterbacks are with each other. We saw a little bit of that in the first half with Will Strickler, but Sam Alley just coming in to play the second half. It'll be a handoff up the middle for Montcalm and rolling forward to the 30.
Rep it.
And still coming forward. They'll give him maybe an extra yard on that to the 31. Brings up second down. 1:54 left in the game. 2 timeouts left for Big Rapids. Same for Central Montcalm.
Timeout on the field.
Big Rapids will use one of their timeouts. It'll stop the clock with 1:54. This broadcast brought to you by Farmers Insurance, Shane Strickler Agency. Shane can help you customize your insurance needs for your lifestyle and family. Auto, home, business, life. Call or stop in downtown Big Rapids. Also, the Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids. Your local independent agency, community-driven, policyholder-focused, education-based for the best rates on home, auto, business, and life. Also, Quality Car and Truck Repair, the area's only AAA service center on 220th Avenue, just west of 131, Big Rapids. So after the timeout, both teams back on the field. 1:57 left on the clock and a 12-7 lead for the Hornets. Ball placed to the 31-yard line after a very nice run by Mitchell Harold. The 6-yard run on first down and gets them in prime position to try to end this game. Motion from left to right, and it will be a keeper, and Crooks is stopped short. He gets about a yard. That brings up third down and maybe 3 to go. So 1:52 the stop clocks, and that is the final timeout by Coach Seltzer and the Big Rapids Cardinals. If you're Coach Seltzer, I mean, what are you talking about in that huddle?
Still time. There's still time left. I mean, if you can get this stop here, they'll probably punt it. And then, this offense has the capability of some big plays. So let Sam use his arm, air it out a little bit, see if Jamal can run one down. And there's a ton of assets on this team to use for a quick strike. But it starts right here.
Well, the only thing that stands between the end of the game and seeing this Big Rapids offense again is 3 yards. Third down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Crooks in the pistol, calls motion from left to right. They'll hand off straight up the middle, and there's the Big Rapids defensive front, and there's a stop for a loss of yardage. Take away about 3 yards and bring up fourth down. Fourth down and about 6 to go, and now here's the decision of how this works. They're going to have to pay very close attention to the officials to make sure there's no delay of game, but you have to guess they're running every second out of this clock that they can. No timeouts left for Big Rapids. Central Montcalm does have 2, but there's 1:15 left and still ticking down. A few different players on that Hornet side looking at that clock. The punt across the 50, takes a big Rapids roll, and actually rolls back into their own territory. It will be down to 46. A lot of Big Rapids players close to that punt at the end. And you've seen a lot of bad things happen that way, but nothing hurt here. The offense back on the field. Have to give a lot of credit to the defense in this game. It's only 12-7. This offense has had 4 different turnovers by putting the ball on the ground. 57 seconds. It's 1st and 10 from their own 46. And Alley in the gun. He'll have trips out left, 1 wide receiver right. That's Strickland by himself alone on the right side of the field. And quickly before that play is called, there's a timeout by Central Montcalm. So just 1 timeout left by Central Montcalm, and boy, is this a tight game. 12-7, Hornets on top. A big defensive stop by Big Rapids on that last drive for Central Montcalm. And now the offense for the Cardinals has 57 seconds to work with and no timeouts.
It's kind of amazing, too, that you can have 4 turnovers like this and still be in the game. Still have an opportunity to win. I mean, that's just, but that's how their defense is played. I mean, this defense is, it's been the most impressive defensive effort I've seen out of the Cardinals in a while. Just collectively, you know, the Hornets have just not really been able to do much of anything all game long. And then bing, bang, boom, you get another one. You know, that 3rd and 3 they needed. Central Montcalm needed something, couldn't get it. So now the Cardinals get a shot to win this game.
Alley in the gun by himself, motions Venix, the fullback out to the left. He takes a 3-step drop. He's being rushed, gets away from the pressure, and he'll get a short pass down to Jamal Strickland, and everybody's hurrying up. That brings up 2nd down and short, about 3 yards to go. 44 seconds, clock still ticking down. 12-7, and it looks like they were going to spike that ball. A Hornet comes through, and there's a flag on the play.
That's on Central Montcalm. That's worst case scenario.
Everybody on the Big Rapids side was basically just pointing at the man who came through, Micah Johnson. And the flag will be waved off. That's the 2nd time we've seen the flag waved off today. It stays 2nd down and 3, at least on the field and on the scoreboard. Second and 3 from the 47. 38 seconds left on the clock. Alley in the gun, running back to his left. He's got 2 wide receivers split out on each side. Snap. He steps back. Pocket collapses. He moves up. He's going to have to take it himself. He gets across the 40, nearly to the 35, and he's dragged out of bounds by a defender. Good open field tackle by Brock Ryan. That stops the clock with 32 seconds left. Nice play by Sam Alley to get through the collapsing pocket, step up, get across the 1st down marker and out of bounds.
That's where he's dangerous, right? Because he drops back to pass. Everyone knows he can throw it a little bit. Spreads out the defense. All of a sudden, lanes start opening up. And as long as he can get to the sideline, do it.
2 wide receivers on both sides. He takes the shotgun snap, steps up. There's not much of a pocket. The throw downfield is caught by Jamal Strickland. He'll be inbounds. They'll stop the clock for the move of the chains. Some contact there in the secondary, but Strickland fell backwards and caught it.
Is he all right? What's going on?
And now there's going to be a holding call on Big Rapids. The biggest play of the game erased. The flag back down towards the line of scrimmage. And if you're Central Montcalm, you have to be taking a deep sigh of relief after that play.
Yeah, and looking up to the heavens. I mean, that's 2 playmakers connecting right there. Sam, under all kinds of pressure, just heaves one up with a lot of, you could say prayer behind it. But he knew he had Jamal. And Jamal just beats his defender. What a play. All of it erased.
Brings the ball all the way back.
That could be
to the Cardinal 45-yard line.
Game changer. But Cardinals have, look what they have. Look what they can do. You know, they can strike pretty quickly.
26 seconds left, but that holding penalty makes it 1st and 29 from their own 45. Timeout taken by Central Montcalm. Neither team left with any timeouts. That last play, Sam Alley navigated a collapsing pocket phenomenally, got outside just to find even more rushers coming at him. To throw the ball to Jamal Strickland, you had to believe that he was going there the whole time.
Hey, he's the answer, really. I mean, Will Strickler knew that last year. I saw a couple of those games, and you just heave him up, and Jamal can get him. He can make a quarterback look real good in a second, but that's also pretty good vision by Sam to see the opportunity that he was beyond the defender, heave it up past the defender, a great ball, and just let Jamal do the work.
So reset, 1st down and 29 from the 45-yard line. 26 seconds left on the clock. 4 down linemen. It'll be a swing pass out right. That'll be Gorchevitz with the reception. He'll get about 3 or 4 yards and get out of bounds. 22 seconds left on the clock. That'll bring up 2nd down and 27. So they'll give him about 2 yards on the play. Maybe hoping on a short play in a long yardage situation to find some gaps in that defense, but there certainly weren't any there towards that Big Rapids sideline. Hornets defense set up on the Bulldog of the middle of Top Taggart Field. Cardinals still slightly in their own territory, ball at the 47. It's 2nd down and 27. Alley in the gun, fullback Venix to his right. Trips left, he takes the snap, and another whistle before the play. And a delay of game on Big Rapids. They'll replay 2nd down and basically lose 3 yards after a 2-yard play on 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some way we can pull this game off, it's a little bit in spite of ourselves at this point.
And Central Montcalm has done what they can to stop this Cardinals defense. With them putting the ball on the ground so much, it's worked. But Big Rapids has to beat Big Rapids first. Alley in the gun, has to step up. Another rusher, and he'll get him on the sack. 17 seconds left. They're going to have to run back to the line of scrimmage, and that might be the last play we see. 9 left on the clock. 4th quarter here. 4 seconds, 3. And trying to clock the ball there.
And they're going to run it off.
And it'll run off. So that's it. Big Rapids had many chances to get into the end zone in this 4th quarter, let alone the whole game. And Central Montcalm comes out, wins their first game of the season, 12-7.
Your Big Rapids Cardinals 7.
I mean, that was despite ourselves right there. We could have won that game. I think one side of the ball played exceptionally well. The other side of the ball just got in front of themselves.
Once again, your final score, 12-7. Central Montcalm over Big Rapids. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back for the post-game report right here on Big Country 100.9 from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.